You are watching Daily Market Pulse. Today is Saturday, May 9, 2026. If you want a clean daily read on macro and market risk, subscribe for the next briefing. Bitcoin surges 11% in April, strongest monthly gain in over a year. Today's agenda: Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market update, gold and silver rally, Federal Reserve actions and economic impact, market update. Now let's look at the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin's price surge is driven by geopolitical tensions and central bank actions. The current trend suggests a continued focus on safe haven assets like Bitcoin. Watch for the about $85,000 resistance level and keep an eye on the Federal Reserve's actions and their impact on the economy. The key takeaway is that investors should be cautious and watch for key indicators like the about $85,000 resistance level. Now let's look at the precious metals market. Gold and silver prices have surged, driven by investors turning to safe haven assets. The current trend suggests a continued focus on precious metals, with gold reaching about $4,723 and silver increasing in price. Watch for the about $5,000 level and keep an eye on the Federal Reserve's actions and their impact on the economy. The key takeaway is that investors should be cautious and watch for key indicators, like the about $5,000 level. Now let's look at the economic impact of the Federal Reserve's actions. The Federal Reserve has held rates steady, driven by concerns about inflation and the economy. The current trend suggests a continued focus on monetary policy, with the 10-year yield reaching 4.4%. Watch for inflation data and keep an eye on the Federal Reserve's actions and their impact on the economy. The key takeaway is that investors should be cautious and watch for key indicators like inflation data. Now let us turn to today's live market snapshot, where gold, crypto, stocks. Now for our daily financial market update. Here is where the key asset classes stand as of Saturday, May 9, 2026. Gold is trading at about $4,730, slightly higher on the day, and is strongly higher over the past 5 sessions. Silver is at about $81, higher today and strongly higher over the past 5 sessions. In crypto, Bitcoin is at about $80,200, flat on the session, and slightly lower over the past 5 sessions. Ethereum is at about $2,300, slightly higher today. Other major crypto: Solana at about $93, higher, BNB at about $650, slightly higher, XRP at about $1.427, slightly higher. On equities, the S&P 500 at 7,398.9, slightly higher. The Nasdaq at 26,247.1, higher. The Dow at 49,609.2, flat. Internationally, the DAX at 24,338.6, lower. The Nikkei at 62,713.7, slightly lower. The FTSE at 10,233.1, slightly lower. On the bond side, the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield is at 4.4%, slightly lower on the session, and the 30-year yield is at 4.9%, slightly lower. Yields remain in focus as the market watches for Federal Reserve signals. Rounding out the macro picture, WTI crude at about $95 per barrel, slightly higher. The dollar index at 97.84, slightly lower. Euro-dollar at 1.179, slightly higher. The picture is mixed across asset classes, with no dominant directional theme yet. Investors are watching macro catalysts closely before committing to a clear risk stance. So what does today mean for you? The current market trends suggest a continued focus on safe haven assets like gold and Bitcoin, while the Federal Reserve's actions will be closely watched for their impact on the economy. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you again tomorrow.